You might expect Rios' ex-wife would hate him and want him put away for life. But even though he tore the family apart, she and even her parents have a different side to the story.
She said, from what I hear, it sounds like you may be going home tomorrow.
He's spent nearly 9 years in prison waiting for a miracle. And back at home in Colombia, his former in-laws are waiting for a miracle too.
Miracles do happen, and we know that. We would like to live long enough to see him come out of prison.
It's been a long time, but the Sullivans say they sometimes find their minds wandering back to that day in June 2004 when their former son-in-law delivered the news that would forever change their lives.
We sat in this living room, and he sat on the sofa and admitted that he had had this affair with Jesse, but that he had absolutely nothing to do with Jesse's murder.
The Sullivans admit they didn't believe Rios right away, but they say it wasn't long before they were convinced Rios was the wrong man, even if believing him came at a cost.
Obviously, he hurt our daughter. He hurt our family. As we went through the trial and the evidence that was presented, he didn't do it.
And even though Rios caused some of her darkest days and turned her world upside down, their daughter Libby says she can't turn her back on her ex-husband.
And I just told myself until I see something that is proof, until I see something that shows me that he did this, I've got to be supportive, and I just still haven't seen that.
For Libby, things have never added up.
The fact that I was there at our house, awake, saw him come home, I think to me those things, you can't change that.
Abrasions and bruises.
Of course, it's a different story for the case's prosecuting attorney, Morley Swingle. To him, the math makes perfect sense.
His DNA is on the sheets. His DNA is in 3 places. It's on the hairs on the victim's chest, it's under the victim's fingernails, and it's on the victim's sheets. That's killer's DNA in 3 different places. It's not a defense, it's more evidence of his guilt.
The defense claimed those hairs were evidence of sex, not murder. But Columbia Police Chief at the time, Randy Bames, says those hairs were what sealed the deal for him, although getting to that conclusion wasn't easy.
Another conflict that we had to deal with that was very unusual is that, his family were supporting him, again, understandably. They believed him. They didn't believe us, and so and we consider, like for instance, his wife, part of our CPD family. And so all of a sudden we had a real conflict there, and we really couldn't reach out and support her because she didn't trust us.
Rios' family says it acknowledges what Swingle, Bame, the jurors, and countless others say about the evidence against him. But there's not a doubt in their minds. Their lives are now dedicated to disproving Rios' guilt.
It's not a matter of trying to defend him because he was our son-in-law. It's because we truly believe he is innocent. And it's wrong for someone who's innocent to be in jail for the rest of their lives. And it's just wrong. But that also means then there is somebody out there who did commit the murder.
But the family says there's another reason to go on this campaign of sorts. A more important reason.
We want to be able to look at our grandson and say we believed your father was innocent and we did everything we could.
Rios has a son.
Hey, Grayson. I love you, Bug.
Grayson was merely months old at the time of the murder.
Now he's old enough that he's starting to ask questions.
There was one night we were laying in bed, tucking him in, and he just said, "But Mom, if he didn't do it, why don't you tell somebody?"
And his mom and grandparents aren't the only ones getting questions.
They sat there for about 10 or 15 minutes and, basically, "Tell me why you're here, Dad," and I tell people it was a profound thing to watch.
He's asking his dad questions too. Still hurting and making sense of all that had happened, Libby made the difficult decision while Grayson was still very small to make his dad a part of his life. So as often as possible, the Sullivans take their now 8-year-old grandson and make the long trek to Rios' new home in South Dakota. The penitentiary doesn't allow cameras inside, but we recorded a separate interview with Rios on the phone.
It's
a double-edged sword, knowing that my family is out there. My son's growing older, but on the flip side, they keep me going. That love keeps me going.
So what do the Sullivans, their daughter, and former son-in-law hope will come of their efforts?
I think what we are hoping is that we can raise some awareness that in this case, justice was not done.
And with all the time they spend waiting, the Sullivans say it gives them time to plan for that one day in the future they look forward to most.
In my mind, I've planned what the menu would be when we celebrate that.
Tell us.
Oh, shrimp. Shrimp. Steve loves shrimp.
We would have a huge bowl of shrimp out there for him.
Yeah.
In part 3 of our 3-part special report, we'll take an in-depth look at how the Columbia Police Department handled the situation and why they're sure the right man is behind bars.